But let's take a look at how the markets are doing, starting off with the JSE that just closed. Of course, lots of developments coming out on the tariff front, and nothing has changed in terms of South Africa being slapped with a 30% tariff from the US. The all share on the day up by almost 0.4%, that largely coming from the Resources 10 complex that surged over 3%. We do have the Industrial 25 there eking out a gain of 0.16%. But backing that overall trend is the Financial 15 with a decline of almost 1.5%. And of course, we know that one of the biggest losers there is Nedbank, that released its interim results there. The last time I checked, that share was down, I think, between 6 and 8%, assuming that investors were not happy with that update. Let's take a look at the markets stateside, and bad news coming out on the economy front in the US. We did have the ISM services PMI today coming out flatlining in July, less than expected, with growth that was less than expected there. So those markets are pretty nervous on that economic data. We do have the tech-heavy NASDAQ leading those losses, softening by more than 0.5%. S&P 500 declining by more than 0.4%, and the Dow edging lower by more than 0.25%. Let's take a look at the markets across the Atlantic, and a mixed picture on that front. We do have a lot of earnings coming through. Oil giant BP beating profit expectations for its second quarter. We had the shares of alcohol maker Diageo popping 7% after its sales growth met analyst expectations and raised its cost savings target. And we also did get results coming out of Hugo Boss, the German luxury retailer there. Softness in its revenue, and that was less than expected. We do have the FTSE 100 there, up by almost 0.1%. The DAX also following in green territory, greening by 0.4%, but the CAC 40 backing that trend, softening by more than 0.1%. Let's take a look at the currency scene and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. The rand remaining relatively flat against the US dollar, just over 17 rand 90 against that currency. The local unit against the pound at 23 rand 82, and against the euro at 20 rand 79. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.15, pound dollar at 1.32, and the yen just above 147 against the greenback.